Hey babes, welcome back to another video. So for today's video, we are going to be talking about how I met my husband. Now this is a very exciting video for me to share with you guys on how Alex and I met. But before we get into this video, subscribe to the channel if you are new, turn those post notification bells on so you won't miss any of my videos. Like, share this video with your family and friends. That would mean so much to me. So let's get right into this video. So my brother employed Alex as one of his workers. He had other workers there. And the impression I got of Alex, he was very shy, quiet, he kept to himself. He just worked. He came there to do a job and he did it. Alex and I had no contact. We would see each other every day, but we never talked. The most we would say to each other was hi and kept it moving. I was pretty much single at the time. I'm sure he was involved with someone at that time. And like I said, we would just say hi to each other. We never held any kind of conversations or anything like that. He was just there to work. And I've never seen him interacting with anyone other than the workers. And that was prior to his work. Fast forward. One day I was home and Naima, my oldest daughter, she came home and she said to me, Alex wants to see you. Now my mom, she lives right next door to me. So obviously then the mechanic shop is right next door to me. So when she came and she said that to me, I was in shock because keep in mind, we never had any type of conversation. So for him to want to see me, what's going through my mind is like, what in the world is this about? What is there, that he would have to speak to me about? Anyway, I went over to my mom's house. I went to see him and I said to him, okay, so I was told that you needed to see me. But he was super busy and he asked if he could talk to me later on that evening. I said, sure, that's no problem. So I went upstairs to my mom and I spent the rest of the evening with her. I had to come home, to make dinner and prep the girls for school the next day and get them ready for bed and stuff like that. So I totally forgot that he wanted to see me and I just left my mom's house and I came straight home. Not knowing that when I got home, Alex was in my patio waiting for me. He was there and we did get to talk. He wanted to see me to let me know that he was traveling and he wanted to know if there was anything that I needed for the girls or for myself. A few days went on and, we had exchanged numbers because he wanted me to send him the links to some items that I needed for the girls, particularly Naima, because her birthday was coming up. And there were some things that I wanted that I didn't get for her. So he was going to bring them back in when he was coming in for me. So, we exchanged numbers and I was sending him the links to these items that I needed. I noticed that he was being very flirtatious. I noticed that he was being really caring and whenever he would go on his lunch breaks or stuff like that, he would come ask me if there was anything that I needed or anything that I would like him to bring for me. And I was like, okay, so I knew that he was using this. He was indeed traveling, but I knew that he was using that as an excuse to talk to me. The day that he did leave to travel, Alex messaged me every single day, every single night before I went to bed, he would message me, and he would just show a lot of interest in me. He would show a lot of interest in the girls, their well-being, my well-being. He was concerned, about how they were progressing in school, about how my day was going. He was just genuinely showing interest and being super, super caring. And that scored points with me. But keep in mind, I've never had a conversation with this guy. And all of a sudden, he was just there showing all this interest and support in me and my kids before he left to travel. I'm seeing all these signs, and but yet he's not telling me, he's not saying to me that he's interested. I know it, I can see it, but he's not saying anything. Keep in mind, he's really shy. He's not that kind of person to just come out and say, okay, I'm attracted to you or I'm into you. He's not that type of person. So I actually had to pry that out of him in order for him to admit it. Once he finally did admit it, then in all total honesty, I was very dismissive of it, and I didn't want anything, to do with him like that because of our age difference. Yes, I am a bit older than Alex, and I found that, my beliefs are I've always said I would never date anyone who is younger than me because, I always thought that the level of maturity, it's not going to be there. It's going to be totally different from my level of maturity. And I just don't think that we would have connected in the way that, but he proved me wrong. He had proven to me that the level of maturity was there, and, age was just nothing but a number. Day then that he did left, he would message me every single day to check up on me, check up on the girls, see how we were doing, if everything was going okay. And he just seemed genuinely, interested, genuinely concerned about us. And that really put things into perspective for me. The day that he came back, we went on a picnic the next day. So he came back this Saturday, and this Sunday we went on this picnic. We took the girls with us. And let me just say that we connected that day in a way that I never thought possible. And I was like telling myself, you know what, just give it a chance. And everyone was, my friends, because I had spoken to them about it before, and they were like, no, I don't think you should give this guy a chance because he's younger than you, and the level of maturity is not going to be there. He's going to be childish, he's, stuff like that. And they're like, you're going to regret it, and things like that they were telling me. And I went against my beliefs. I went against everything everyone was telling me. And I was just like, you know what? Just go for it. That day of the picnic, we connected. The next day was Naima's birthday. And, he was working on that day. But the party was over at my mom's house. So he got a chance when he finished work. He cleaned up and he joined us. And that night we sat and we talked. And then after the party, he came over to my house. I was pretty much single. I was single for like 6 years, just to find myself after the girl's dad and I broke up. I spent 6 years by myself, just to take time for me and focus on myself, focus on my kids. And then here he came, Alex, and not knowing, mind you, that he had feelings for me all along, but he was in a relationship. And I didn't know that. because how can I? I mean, he's super shy. We never had a conversation. He kept his feelings to himself. And after they broke up, he just decided to go for it. You know, he just decided to go for it and give it a shot and see if things would work out with me. And even though I was very dismissive of it, he was really adamant. He was persistent. He wouldn't give up, you know, and I gave in. And now we are married. We talked for 6 months. We've never went out like on a date per se because of how things were. Like he was always working, and then me being a single mom, I never really used to leave my kids with anyone to say, you know. So he just spent the majority of his time over at my house, and you know, we bonded, we connected in a way that I never thought possible. And during that 6 months period, he popped the question and I accepted because the way that we felt about each other, it was like so intense. It was like we were meant to be together. It's like my 6 years of me being single paid off. You know, I was waiting for the right person to come along. God knew what he was doing. He blessed me with this person. I just felt like it was really meant to be, and I wasn't hesitant. I accepted his proposal. We got married. We got married like a year later. We would have been married sooner, but due to, you know, coronavirus intervening and everything, we had to push the wedding back. And we got married a year later. We got married January 2021. And that was basically it. That is how Alex and I met. Some people might think, oh, it was a bit too soon. You guys should have dated like a year, 2 years, and then get married after. But you know, the heart wants what the heart wants. So with that being said, I am going to share with you guys all the wedding details, everything, and that is for another video. I'm going to end this video off right here, and I hope you guys enjoyed this video on how Alice and I met. And I hope to hear some juicy details about how you and your spouses, how you guys met. You guys can leave that in the comments, or you guys can feel free to DM me on my Instagram. I'll put that in the description. And I will see you guys in the next video. Love you guys. Bye.